Hello everybody, Jeff Siegel here with your Wellness Q&A. Today we've got a question that asks, what is the one practice or routine that you think has had the biggest impact in your health or well-being? Now there are so many different things I could talk about here, but there is one. There is one practice. There is one thing that I think trumps them all. This thing is more important than exercise, more important than meditation, and that's sleep. Getting consistent, regular, high-quality sleep. And now, I know you're probably not surprised. I'm not the first person to ever say, yeah, you should be getting more sleep, or yes, we live in a very sleep-deprived culture. And maybe you're already doing a lot of really good things in terms of taking care of your sleep hygiene. Things like making sure that your room is really dark and free of different sort of lights, trying to make your room a little bit cooler at night, trying to minimize the amount of screen time that you have before you go to bed. Not only to prevent a lot of that backlit light from disrupting your circadian rhythms, but also to help kind of limit the emotional arousal that happens from watching a lot of shows and engaging in a lot of media before you go to sleep. And so those are all really important practices. However, there is one other thing that I think is really important that so many people miss. And this doesn't have to do with your bed or your bedroom. All right, this has to do with what happens before you even go to bed. Do you have a powering down nighttime practice, a routine that helps you digest and express the stress that you've accumulated during the day? Because guess what? If you just jump into bed, you are bringing all that stress emotionally, physically, and mentally with you into bed. And then as your body is trying to go to sleep, all that stuff surfaces and comes back out, and that often leads to really disrupted, low quality, fragmented sleep. So if you take a little bit of time before you get into bed to actually come back and give yourself a little bit of space to feel whatever needs to be felt, to relax, to let go of that tension before you go into your bed, it's going to lead to so much better sleep for you. And a lot of this comes from the book Burnout, where they talk about completing the stress cycle. This idea that as we go about our days, we often have a lot of emotions that arise and are triggered. But once an emotion is triggered, it needs to move through its process. It needs to run its course. However, a lot of times we don't allow that to happen. We kind of hit the pause button, either because maybe it's not appropriate in that situation to really get into that feeling, or maybe because the emotion itself is a little bit too overwhelming, so we don't want to deal with it. The challenge is when we bottle it all up, all right, it just starts circulating and it starts ruminating and it just lingers in our body, in our tissues. And again, when we don't allow ourselves to actually feel and process that emotion and then we go to bed, it's going to surface in all sorts of weird ways. So I think one of the best routines that you can have is to give yourself that time and space before you go to bed to complete that stress cycle, to let go of the tension, to let go of the emotional baggage, and so that you can enter into your bed from a much more restful place. So a few ideas on how to do that. I recommend just really gentle stretching or mindful movement, some deep breaths to help stimulate that parasympathetic relaxation response in your body. Right? And if you have a partner, somebody that you can give a nice big hug with, cuddle up against them, and just allow your body to feel safe and relaxed for a moment. And all of these things can do wonders to help let all of that emotional stuff run its course and release. So try this out, and I recommend that if you do this consistently, you're going to improve the quality of your sleep. And if you improve the quality of your sleep, all right, it's going to improve every other facet of your well-being. So that's my one tip for you today. This is Jeff Siegel. Until next time, breathe, smile, and just step onward to whatever is most important for you.